The U.S. will hold joint exercises with Coast Guards from Japan and the Philippines for the first time starting this week amid elevated tensions with China in the region.
The trilateral drills will be done off Bataan province that's facing the South China Sea from June 1 to 7, according to a Philippine Coast Guard statement Monday. The exercises will strengthen interoperability and will include maritime law enforcement training and maneuvering drills, it said. The exercises are unrelated to Manila's sea dispute with Beijing, Philippine Coast Guard spokesman Armin Balilo told reporters. This is a routine exercise between Coast Guards, he said, adding that the U.S. and Japan both requested the joint drills. The Coast Guard drills are the latest display of cooperation between the U.S. and its allies in Asia, as Washington's rivalry with China heats up. Some 400 crew members on 4 ships will join the trilateral exercises, with Australia and India possibly participating as observers, Balilo said. The U.S. and the Philippines last month held the largest version of their flagship military exercises, using rockets and combat aircraft to simulate sinking an enemy ship as part of war games, conducted in an area also near the South China Sea. The Philippine Coast Guard has been in the front line of lingering tensions with China in disputed waters, most recently having a near collision with Chinese ships. Amid the spat, the Southeast Asian nation under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has been bolstering its defense alliance with the U.S., with American troops gaining expanded access to Philippine areas earlier this year. The Philippine Coast Guard ships also reported aggressive maneuvers by China Coast Guard vessels, in addition to identifying over 100 Chinese maritime militia ships operating in the area of its patrol, according to the release. PCG patrol vessels BRP Malapascua, MRV 4402, and BRP Malabrigo, MRV 4403, patrolled the waters off Sabina Shoal, Iroquois Reef, Loac, Patag, Licas, Parola, Pag-asa, Tizard Bank, Julian Phillip Reef, and Inunjan Shoal between April 18 to 24. The ships encountered a Plan Type 054, a frigate, hull number 549, 7 nautical miles from Pag-asa Island, internationally known as Thitu Island, and part of the disputed Spratly Islands, on April 21. The Chinese side's maneuvers were professional and restrained, she said. The Chinese spokesperson accused the Philippine Coast Guard of a premeditated provocation by intruding with a PCG ship carrying embarked journalists, designed to deliberately create a friction that would be blamed on China and hyped up in the media. China strongly protests and deplores this, Mao said. We urge the Philippine side to respect China's sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in the South China Sea and stop making moves that might complicate the situation. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. called for the final adoption of a Philippines-China direct communication line in the wake of the near collision between the Philippine and Chinese ships, according to a release from Marcos' Sunday press conference. Marcos is currently in the United States for an official visit. This is the kind of thing that we're hoping to avoid. But this time it was a little more dangerous because they were close, Marcos said in the release. Both Marcos and Chinese President Xi Jinping earlier affirmed the establishment of a direct communication mechanism during the Filipino leader's official state visit to Beijing in January. Marcos stated that the Philippines had already created a team and had submitted the names, along with the phone numbers of its team, but was waiting for China to provide the details as to who will be on the team. Planned ships had also been sailing in the vicinity of Japan, according to Monday releases by the Joint Staff Office, JSO, of the Ministry of Defense.